Welcome to the recipe. I go by the name Red, and you're now tuned into the NX podcast. On this episode, I want to talk about the comparison between Metroid Prime 4 and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that I keep seeing being made. I get the excitement for Prime 4. I'm beyond excited for Prime 4. I truly do believe Metroid Prime 4 will go beyond all our expectations. But that being said, what was Breath of the Wild exactly needs to, I think, be explained a bit before we go around throwing around the idea that Prime 4 is going to be the Breath of the Wild moment for the Metroid IP. So that's what I want to do here. So I think to start, a little bit of history needs to be told about the Zelda series. Not too much, just a bit. The Legend of Zelda series is an iconic series, a legendary series, a series that most of your favorite games have pulled something from in order to even exist. It's a game that has caused paradigm shifts within this medium. It's a game that questioned whether a game could be mature and then just switch to be a kiddie experience, more cartoony, more whimsical. Can you take an IP in multiple different directions? And they proved that they can when they did Wind Waker, which was a giant pivotal moment, I think, for every video game creator company around the world, because it was such a, wild, ballsy thing to do at the time. And Nintendo did it with their chest out and was like, yeah, we're going to follow it up with even more games in this art style. And we're going to put that art style in Smash Brothers. And you all going to grow to love it. You know what I mean? And hell, I even said I wished Echoes of Wisdom had Wind Waker's art style over it having the Link's Awakening remake art style. But that's just me, because I love Wind Waker's art style. The point is, the Legend of Zelda series has done a lot within this medium. Just like, funny enough, the Metroid series. Most of your favorite games have pulled something from Samus Aran's first video game. I mean, her first video game, I don't need to explain going left. I don't need to explain backtracking. I don't need to explain the fact that there's literally a genre that it's not forced. It just naturally happened. Again, not forced. It naturally happened, and Metroidvania became a thing. And there's literally, sections that you could go in on other platforms, like on Game Pass. You can go and literally search Metroidvania. There's a whole Metroidvania section with games like SteamWorld Dig and Guacamole. You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. The Metroid series has always punched above its weight when it comes to being a shaker within this industry. You literally cannot point. You cannot. And I laugh every time when I say, yo, listen, point me to a game like Metroid Prime, and people will point and be, oh, Halo 5 is similar. Art direction, absolutely. They'll be like Bioshock. I'm like, in what sense? Because game design-wise, they're not even in the same genre, other than their first person. Like, yo, there is literally nothing close. And the thing that comes the closest, I would say, in a 3D space, maybe Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor, those games. And it's still way more different, because you're not taking BB-8 really and going and doing Morph Ball style missions and all of that. No, there's really not much of that. At least from what I've played from the whole first game and the bit that I've played of the second game, which I'm currently playing through. Like, Samus, from Morph Ball to Screw Attack, from her abilities, like, the game doesn't just change around her. As you progress, you change as a player. And that's something that a lot of games took from that. That's something that Zelda did, Metroid did. Just saying, it's easy to make parallels between these two series, right? The Legend of Zelda, Metroid. People always think Link is Zelda, and people always thought Samus was Metroid. There's a lot of similarities there. But now let's move to where we currently are. Zelda would struggle to see 6 million sales, let alone 8 million sales. I think Ocarina of Time is counted as being damn near close to 10 million seller, but it's not from the 90s sales on 64. No. It's from the early 2000 re-releases and re-releases and re-releases, and then put those all together and be like, that's how much that series sold. You know what I mean? That entry sold. It's not even the series, that entry. Yeah, that's all well and good. Breath of the Wild, though, came and changed everything. Zelda went from being something that, it might sell 5 million, maybe, Skyward Sword didn't. A lot of the handheld ones didn't. You know what I mean? But maybe there's potential there to see its ceiling, which is 7 million. That ceiling now is over 20 million. See, because the game went on to sell like 20 fast. And then we was like, yo, that's crazy. And we thought, all right, that's cool. It might make it to like 22 throughout the generation, a little evergreen, maybe 23, 24. if it's lucky. And this thing just kept going and going and going. And it's still going. And then Tears of the Kingdom will come out after. Years after, damn near 7 years after. A long way to tell players, hey, go back, same old Hyrule, new ideas, enjoy. And that game instantly, before it even hit a year, sold 20 million. So that's where the series ceiling is. It's in that 20 million, 35 million range, which is wonderful, beautiful. To ask that of Metroid is a big ask. And look, I know we coming off of Dread, which is the best-selling one, at under 4 million sold, that we know of, that we last heard. But that makes it the best-selling, at under 4 million. We got to look at what Breath of the Wild did before it even launched. If we're going to compare this moment to being that moment, Nintendo was down and out. Right now, Nintendo was up and alive. And I think that's where that energy comes from, to say, yo, this is about to be a beast game, a hit. Understand, every single Nintendo IP this generation has made more noise than it's ever made in its entire existence. Every Nintendo IP this generation had their Breath of the Wild moment, thanks to, well, the Switch being its own, I guess we'll call it, Breath of the Wild moment, you know, even though we should probably call it another Wii-like boom, but it had its own Breath of the Wild moment, and that went on to sell past the greatest selling systems of all time, DS, PlayStation 2. This is the best selling system of all time. So everything's been up. So it's easy to look at Metroid Prime 4 and be like, yeah. And we're rolling into the next thing, which we expect a lot of people to be like, yeah, old Switch, boomerang, into the wall. Not the Doom style where it's coming back. We don't want that shit. New Switch. Caught it in the hand, you know what I'm saying? Here we go. We ready to go. Do the like Link, you know what I'm saying? The shit floating over your head. We got a new console. We want to play Metroid on that. So we feel like, yeah, people are going to get it. That's going to be their day one. Again, comparisons to Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild. It has that opportunity to be on the last console, get sales there, which is the current Switch, and then be on the next Super Nintendo Switch, you know what I'm saying, and get all those sales from day one, from maybe being close to a 3D Mario game or future Mario, whatever the launch window is. It's going to be great. You know it is, because Nintendo is literally on their way out, and they was like, oh, you thought we was going to sleep? And there was, no, we wide awake. Here's Mario and Luigi's. Brother, here's the first ever major deal Zelda-led Zelda game that's going to wipe away all that CDI Panasonic bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of big things are happening right now within the moving parts of Nintendo that could potentially lead for us getting a Breath of the Wild moment for Metroid. But okay, the first ever reveal of Breath of the Wild. Understand, we saw Guardians jumping off horses, your new arrow, and a whole new art style. You know what I'm saying? You saw the Guardian style arrows and all that. So while it wasn't a lot, just like this Metroid trailer isn't a lot, it did show a lot more new. That ending shot of you just sitting there in the middle of giant open Hyrule, you knew this was what we've always wanted for the series, right? This is a giant leap towards everything we wanted. The NES art style to come into play, you know, all that. Like, it basically married everything we ever wanted from Zelda, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, the art from the art books from the old games. Everything just came together to make the perfect set dressing and everything to make what we all felt as players, that looks like the peak experience for that IP that we all wanted. People who wanted the mature Zelda, people who were happy with Wind Waker. This was satisfying everybody, and it did. It satisfied everybody who ever purchased a Zelda game, and then introduced a whole bunch of people to purchase a Zelda game. Now, a lot of people have purchased games that they never purchased before on Switch. Like I said, a lot of the games have been selling better than they ever did. Kirby had his best-selling entry, Pikmin, best-selling entry. All these games have been putting up their best-selling entries. Mario Kart, all of them. So it's super cool to see that, but understand, when you compare that first teaser, and like I said, Guardians was in it, new enemy, you know, jumping off horses, that would be an ability, and shooting your arrow, slowing down time, that would be an ability, you know? And when you look at the Metroid trailer, it's just basically what we've already seen. In 1, and 2, and 3, in Hunters, it's Metroid Prime. Through and through, with not one thing new shown, not one thing added new. Because even Silas, people are like, oh, who's that? It's like, oh, that's an old ass character. And he's just, you know, finally going to get his goddamn lick. You know what I mean? And this game is awesome. But again, pirates, everything. We didn't see really any new enemy designs or anything like that. So it's hard to compare it to that first trailer because this doesn't give you that sense of wonder of like, ooh, what's that? And ooh, what's that? Nah, more than anything. I mean, you get it from the story beats, like, oh, Silex got his Metroids, but you know he got his Metroids from, for the Federation Force. So that just, again, normal. Like, you expected these little things. It's just following up on what we already knew. They didn't really show stuff new like that. Then you got to consider the fact that, I guess, I forgot to mention this comparison. I should throw this in there, that Breath of the Wild missed the whole generation. And then it launched at the end. It's the same exact trajectory of Metroid Prime 4. It missed a whole generation, and now Beyond is finally going to launch at the end of it, and that's what we all think is going to be a cross-platform thing. You know what I mean? And again, that makes you, when you see these comparisons, there's a lot of them making here, you go, yeah, yo, this is feeling like it's going to be its Breath of the Wild moment. I get that, you know what I'm saying? And obviously those comparisons are going to be made, and I get it. Like, yo, it's going to be cross-gen. They waited a whole generation. The last game, did very, very well. But the thing is, like, you got to consider the fact Zelda, after that teaser, will go to E3 by itself with no other game. People will say, hell no, that's not going to work. They literally had every single person, and I mean, this is hundreds of thousands of people that go to E3, run past Sony, Xbox booths. This is new generation for these guys. Damn near time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's teasers of that. So it's like, oh, we'll go over this. He was over there. Nah. People wanted to see Zelda. They ran to that booth because they knew, everybody knew that's going to be a cross-platform thing. This is the new Zelda game, but we've been waiting a whole generation for it. And we get to get our hands on it, the Great Plateau, and see everything. Us watching at home, saw the treehouse footage, and was like, yo, with the shit that they're doing is crazy. And the stories of Miyamoto, yeah, we gave him the control, and he just stood like for hours just climbing trees. Just blown away by the fact that he could just climb anything. And I'm like, yo, we felt like that too. And we wanted to know, damn, what's it going to be like when you get off the Great Plateau and all that. It had that crazy showing. And again, you got to remember the Stampede. That went viral. You got the dude salute the sun and all that. You know what I'm saying? And the crowd hands up. That whole shit went viral. It was circulated all over. So people saw all that hype for this game from the outside looking in, with the internet being bigger than it's ever been. They were like, yeah, what's all this other shit about? I got to see what's up with this. Because people going crazy for this. And then you would get the reveal of the Switch, then the tease of the Switch, then the full reveal of the Switch in January. Then Zelda will be, full trailer, the one that trailer, like, they showed that trailer. That trailer was perfect. Open your eyes, bam, said the date, and day one for the new console, shit was crazy. It was wild. It was literally Breath of the Wild. It was wild. Like, oh my God, it took your breath away. You was living in this wild space of, yo, is Zelda really like about to do what it's about to do? And it did what it did, and it's still doing what it's doing. And I expect no less from even Echoes of Wisdom. I think Echoes of Wisdom easily crushes 10 million sales because it stars Zelda. It's the first one starring her. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to want to know, when they play that, when they experience. Every Zelda fan's going to want that in their collection. You need that. Like, you need that. Like, period. We've dreamt of a Zelda-led Zelda game. And, one day we're going to get a Metroid-led Metroid game. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got that. Metroid Dread. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they all are. She's always been infused with some Metroid DNA. But yeah, man, like, I see all the comparisons, but understand, for this to work, let's get to that point. For this to work, the next trailer has to go beyond Metroid Prime. Period. They have to show you not only gameplay mechanics, as in world traversal shit that's brand new. That's your open world, overworld, Breath of the Wild, climbing every wall, jumping in ledge, grabbing every ledge, like I was saying in my previous video that I want to see in the game. Having glory-like kills, from Doom, but with Samus doing it, other M style, uppercutting and all that, and blocking stuff like she does in Dread, being able to move around faster, and all of that stuff. All those mechanics, being able to use your grapple beam in mid-battle for different things and not just at specific points, and just all of that stuff. New weapons, again, new things. Having your spark, like, shifting, your shine spark shifting, like from Dread. All that stuff would make the game look like, holy shit. So then you'll get people who play Doom, might be like, oh yeah, I want to see that. I mean, Doom is about to come out anyway this year. I want to play Metroid, I want to play Doom. And if they don't play Metroid, like, I play Metroid and Doom, always have. You know what I'm saying? And there's people who played Metroid all the time, never played Doom, and they probably got into Doom because of the ports on the Switch and stuff like that, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? And then Doom players were there, like, yeah, cool. Maybe Metroid remake, Prime remake, a couple of them bought that. We don't really know the sales of that game, so it's hard to tell how that game did comparisons, like in comparison to Dread. Did the series continue to go up, or did that game not sell? And it's crazy if it didn't sell, because it was $40, literally one of the best looking games on the console. You know what I mean? And it's Metroid Prime. It's a great game, but that doesn't change the fact that Metroid has always been a great game, and game has never showed up for its greatness. Whether people like to say, "Oh, it's because it stars a girl," to me that's bullshit. That's a lame excuse, because Lara Croft exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I listen. I don't believe that. I believe that if you made a Streets of Rage right now game that starred Chun-Li and Cammy, people would be like, "Yeah, I'm playing that shit." Not even debating. I can't play with Ryu. I can't play with Ken. No, it's just Cammy and Chun-Li. It's their story. All right, fuck it. Double Dragon style, but it's them two. Yeah, we with it. Like, I don't believe that. Listen. I don't want to believe that. That, oh yeah, it's a girl, so we're not gonna play it. Like, you can't be that much of a loser, bro. Like, but if that was the case, that's ridiculous to me. I don't know why. I always said the games just weren't, they aren't casual games. You have to think. You know what I'm saying? Even the most ones where people act like, people say, even in the comments of the video where I was, saying Dread, Metroid Prime to learn from Dread, somebody posted, there was a lot of great comments, by the way, so shout out to everybody who dropped comments. But somebody put a comment there like, the series needs to go back to exploration, like Super Metroid and Metroid Prime 1. And I'm not gonna lie. I love these games because I love the IP, but I hate that statement, like, profusely, because it's such a bullshit statement. Metroid Prime 1, I've played a million times. It's the baby game in the series. That's not an opinion, bro. It's the first game. It leans 100% on damn near being a full-blown remake of Super Metroid. Prime 2 had balls to do whatever they wanted to do. And then Prime 3 is literally the most exploration Metroid game. You go from planet to planet. These planets are mad big, mad. You can't sit there and tell me that exploring Skytown and Elysium, there was anything comparable to that in Prime 1. Because there wasn't. I played the game a million times. But yet people say this. Now, that's what I say. It's because the game was the most casual, the most easily digestible. And then Prime 2 went super hardcore. And then Prime 3 found its middle ground. Stackable beams. You know what I mean? Easier to find all the things that you would need at the end of the game. You can find them throughout your gameplay, so that by the time they give, hey, yo, you need these things to access the ending fight. Oh, I got those. I collected it as I was playing. Like, they did all those cool little things. But not only that, story, voice acting, everything that game did is stuff people ask for Nintendo games to do today. And yet people don't give Prime 3 enough credit. Like, that game is, funny enough, I put Prime 3 as one of those masterpieces that Nintendo made that it's like one of one. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like who's made a Mario Galaxy style game? I love Odyssey. I think Odyssey is better just by design than the Galaxy games, because I don't got to jump after every star out and load and then come back into one star, back out, find the secret star, got it, back out. Nah, Odyssey was like, collect everything you want here, then leave, and then you could come back when you got more and more access and secret ways to get here. Come through a paint, and now you find another spot to get here and access more things. It was mad cool. The point is, Mario Galaxy is still one of one. Like, even though there's two of them. But not according to Nintendo, because they didn't give us that shit in HD. Give it to me, Nintendo, goddamn. But anyway, I'm serious. I want that in HD. It's the best one out of the Galaxy games. Yoshi's in it, for crying out loud. Yoshi, man. But speaking on design and stuff like that, you got to understand, Nintendo's most successful hardware was always their handhelds. And then they made a hybrid, the Switch, and it went on to become the most successful video game hardware of all time. Now, I say that to say their games that were designed with that in mind seem to have been the most successful. At the end of the day, a 3D Land happened on a handheld, was super successful. 3D World was successful on a, failed Nintendo console. Great console, but failed console. That only sold 13 million. The ceiling on that thing was 13 million. So, 3D World selling 8 or whatever million it did on, the Wii U, the attach rates was just crazy. People who had the Wii U, they were actually using the Wii U, So I say all that to say, Bowser's Fury will come out. That game did crazy numbers on the current Switch, and that was designed, 100%. Like, 3D World was designed with the gamepad in mind. 3D Land was designed with short bursts of gameplay. Odyssey was designed the same way. So it's like you could go grab a moon. Oh, you're getting off the train, you're getting off the bus, you at your destination because you're on the go. You could just stop. You just got that moon. That moon, it automatically saved. You good to go. You know, and then Zelda was like, yeah, we made shrines for that reasons. You could go, you could do a shrine. You ain't stuck in the whole dungeon where when you come back, you're going to be lost. You don't know what to do no more. Like, so they designed it around it being on the go. And I think that benefited a lot of these games. I know to me, literally that's the thing that makes Odyssey so fun to me to go back to is, like I said, no loading screens because I'm in there, I'm collecting everything I can collect, and I move on. You know, super amazing story, beautiful visuals and all that add to it. But that's what I really like. So maybe that's the thing that makes Metroid have its Breath of the Wild moment. What is the game design choices that they make to design the game for someone who's on the move? The same way it helped with the other IPs I just named, Zelda, Mario, it can help with Metroid. You know, I would love to see what does that actually mean for Metroid to try to put that in mind. This is an on-the-go, this is a handheld, this is, you know, it's trying to be that home console core experience it was before, but now you got to consider that the person might need to stop at any moment, you know? So it shouldn't be a big ask to ask for games to have a pause button. Like, that's just common courtesy. Every game should have it. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's nothing you can say to debate it. You don't have a pause button in your game, you're just a dick. That's it, period. There's no in-between debating, you know? So, anyway, I say all that to say you can clearly see what the challenge is here, right? That next trailer really has to grab people, drive the point home like crazy. And I say that at the same time that right now the whole Nintendo fan base is going crazy with this, what is it, Enio, whatever the hell the dude with the bag on his head, horror looking game that Nintendo just teased without saying anything of what it is. They're going crazy for that, making fan fiction and all of that. And these are the same people who'll be complaining after Xbox Showcase, talking about too much CGI, too much this, and now you're going crazy over some shit. You don't know who's developing it. Who's the developer? You always hear those complaints. Too much CGI. There's literally no gameplay here. There's nothing here, but go crazy. I'm like, I'm not going to go crazy. I don't know what the hell that is. You show me what it is, and then I'll go crazy. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh my God, this is an inkling. And let's bring this guy into the family. Like, you know, he's going to be standing right alongside all these Nintendo IP. Like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I bring that up just to say, like, look how crazy people going for that trailer. That's the power of the Switch. Like, I am intrigued. I don't want to sound like I'm straight up hating. I'm intrigued. But I just laugh at the hypocrisy sometimes, you know? A lot of the hypocrisy, nowadays, I just laugh at it. But no, I am intrigued, you know what I'm saying? But it's also not something that I'm going to sit here and be like, oh my God, let me make 50 videos about what the hell is... Nah, I'm good. Like, I'm good. If you would have said, oh, look at this character, box on his head, we don't know what the game is, but it's developed, and then you gave me an actual developer who I could care about, then I would be like, yo, this is going to be crazy. What kind of game is it going to be? Right now, I just look at it, and I'm like, I got that game. It's called Little Nightmares 2. Can't wait for Little Nightmares 3. But anyway, yeah, man, I mean, let's wait and see what that is. But the point is that brings so much, you know, conversation, traffic, and it creates this giant hoopla, and it's literally a nothing burger. And it did all that. So I'm like, could Metroid get some of that too? I know Metroid, the trailer, the buzz been crazy. It's been wonderful. Yeah. The next trailer, they gotta deliver, you know, retro. Nintendo has to deliver. And then the audience has to respond to it, and not just look at it and be like, yeah. Like, you don't understand the disservice that every Metroid Prime fucking 3 review did for that game when they just compared the opening to Halo. When it's like Metroid, listen, you can say whatever you want. Oh, I never seen a Metroid game where I ran through this, you know, ship and all these people running around. This is some Halo shit. Fine, listen, I play the Halo series. I love the Halo series. I love all the entries in the Halo series, the mainline games. Same thing with Metroid. I love Metroid more, obviously, but still. Goes without saying, I enjoy both series, so I'm not sitting here trying to pin them up against each other. But when you act like if the opening alone of Super Metroid wasn't everything that the opening of Prime was, which was, yo, look at this shit, Derelict ship, or whatever the case may be, scientists dead, Metroid escape, this shit is crazy. Obviously, I got here after the fact, but clearly what goes down at the beginning of Prime 3, what goes down in the trailer of Beyond, that's what happened at the beginning of Super. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't see all that happen. So it's right in line with Metroid. Metroid is a sci-fi IP. Oh, all these other characters, It's a giant universe. You're talking about Metroids that are basically fake face huggers that turn into giant other kind of Metroid xenomorph, like, evolutions and shit. Like, and then it's like, oh, like, you know, oh, there's too much Halo-y in my Metroid. It's like, yo, a disservice to that game because, look, this is what that next trailer got to compete with. You was throwing out your grapple beam to take off shields off enemies. You have free aim, complete free aim. Thank God you got motion controls on the actual, Pro Control on the Joy-Con, so you can still do that kind of free aim, right? You had your little green strips for you to ledge grab. You had your screw attack. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had all these different abilities. There was different walls that you could pull, push, morph ball, doors that were giant mechs, and then they would wake up and then they would just like jump through a place and lead you to a whole different location. And it's like they did all this cool stuff, stackable beams, right? So you didn't have to go and oh yeah, let me be switching all the stuff. They gave you the actual hyper, crazy beam that you had with your PD suit and all that. They did a lot of things with this game. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just couldn't get over the fact that it wasn't one planet, it wasn't Samus by herself, it wasn't Super Metroid again, because it's not about Metroid Prime. Understand this. And I'm speaking from as a die-hard Metroid fan. It is not about Metroid Prime. It's about keeping the series stifled as what they want it to be. And I know some of y'all listening to this might be offended because y'all Metroid fans are like, damn, he's shitting on me. Yeah, I am. Truly, why wouldn't I? If you want to keep the series in a box, you don't like that series. You don't like that IP. Oh, no, it should only be this. Why is it that? Why? Listen, the only way the series is ever going to grow, but here's the thing. The truth is these people, it'll grow. Yeah, you people. It'll grow, and then you be like, I liked it better when it was not popular. Oh, yeah, because they do it to Zelda right now. Like, if Zelda can't go and give you a 2D game, and you got one literally announced right now, they could hit you right off at the beginning of the next generation and get you a regular 3D Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Ocarina style Zelda game. Be like, oh shit, it's back, cool. And then hit you at the end of the generation with another open air Zelda game. They could do a lot. The point is the series needs to grow in order for us to be in this space where we don't know what's coming. What genre of the IP that we love, mainline entry is gonna come? Is it going to be a 2D Metroid? Is it going to be a FPA? You know what I'm saying? Or is it going to be this more, like when people say, oh yeah, I don't like Dread. It's not a real Metroid game. It's too action-y. Like, it's a real Metroid game. I explored, I found Kraid, all that. It's a real Metroid game. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh no, it's too easy. It points you in the direction to go. And listen, I don't know what to say to people who just want to be abused with all their games. Like, I want my game to be man hard. There's hard modes for you. It's not hard enough. I don't know. Go complain to the wall. Like, yeah, yeah, they shouldn't tell me everything to everywhere to go. It's like, bro, I literally had to think of how to get to Ravenbeak in the last stream that I did, even though the game was already done 100%. You know what I'm saying? Just getting around that world was a puzzle. But it's not, oh, it's super easy. It's not going to, most people complain about Emmy. I thought Emmy was easy. But most people complain, oh, yeah, I don't like the Emmy sections. It just ruins the pace of the game. It's the same thing with Doom Eternal with the damn, the dude, I forget what's his name, the man, whatever his name is, the dude with the dog, that you gotta change up the style of gameplay for 1 second, just wait, green, bang, you know what I'm saying? Then you could get an extra hit in there, then run away again. If he sends out the dog, kill the dog, green, boom, shoot him again. They're like, bro, like this shit was not, oh, it's rocket science. And when they were feeding me 2 of them, I was like, it ain't that serious. People overblew this enemy that by the time I got to it, I was shook. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be the worst thing in the world. And then I whipped on it and I was like, for real? That's what they were like complaining to about. The worst thing ever added to Doom. You know what I'm saying? So people are quick to be hyperbolic whenever anything comes that changes any little thing of the game. Now I want change. I need big strokes. You wanna know why? Because no change. Making Metroid Prime again, you just asking for the series to be dead. And you can say, oh man, that's crazy to say. No, it's not. They did Metroid Prime. They did Metroid Prime. They did Metroid Prime. They've done different versions of Metroid Prime with Hunters. You know what I'm saying? Every single one sold less. Yes, Prime 3, which should have been the best selling one in my but sold less. So they got to make a game that does everything those games did and more, and bring in more players. And if that means making it more actiony, making it more Doom-like, because Doom is basically, see the helmet come on, you see the visor, that's Metroid, bro. Samus did it first, before Halo, before all of them. You know what I'm saying? Samus was first. So her taking from people who took from her, it's all good. We give and we take, and it's respect there, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. I know they hooked up once in some random, planet, and Samus spotted him from across the table, and he was like, oh shit, you come to this cantina too? And on some Star Wars shit, and then they hooked up, and Master Chief was tight because he had highlighted her earlier, but she was like, nah, I don't really like you like that, I saw your show, I saw you naked, I wasn't feeling it. Like, anyway, I be going too far. Look, the point is, Metroid is gonna have to do some big changes, some deep strokes, baby. For real, for real. It's really gonna have to do in order to penetrate deep strokes, in order to penetrate that wall. You heard? And break that ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Pop that 4 million cherry, come through that shit like fucking Neo waking up in the Matrix. No, outside of the Matrix, my bad. You know what I mean? Like, for real. I don't know, that was kind of heavy. That was kind of crazy. But I'm dead serious. Like, you're gonna have to do things. Whether it's some multiplayer. Oh my God, don't have multiplayer to Metroid. Jesus Christ, it's a separate thing. What if it's a whole separate developer who was making that? You know what I'm saying? And Retro was just focused on a thing. Still, no, Metroid don't need multiplayer. Well, it had it. It had it multiple times now. In 2, Prime, it had it. You know what I'm saying? In Hunters, and it had it. Federation Force. So if they do it again, oh well, go cry in the corner. As you can see, I don't care for nostalgia. I do not care for nostalgia. I don't get baited by the shit. I like to see my series grow. Metroid has been dead, the Prime series specifically, and damn near the whole series. Like, Metroid has been in this very, basically in the ICU, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it wakes up and be like, dread, and then knocks out. Like, we need Metroid alive and well and super thriving. And the only way for it to do that is for it to have its Breath of the Wild moment. Remember what you're asking for. To the Metroid fans who don't like change, to those of you who do like change, to those of you who like me, who could listen to my previous video and not sit there and be like, oh, I don't want Samus to be faster. I don't want Samus to be like the Doomslayer running around and doing melee kills. Like, literally, it was the one redeeming quality of Other M, bro. It was the way Samus moved and whooped ass in that game. It was like, shit, that's Sammy right there. Can't wait for the Samus, and Smash based off this one. Then we still got Super Nintendo Smash. And I'm like, God damn, Sakurai's one of them? He's one of them. Oh, Super Metroid is the only one. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm just playing. But for real, like, I like to see my, here's another one. This is my favorite one. Y'all have heard of it over the last 7 years. Breath of the Wild, it's a good game, but it ain't a good Zelda game. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? It's not a good Zelda game. It's fucking Zelda 1, literally in 3D, with all the things that came in between since Zelda 1 and now. Oh, but it don't got the perfect exact style of dungeons that I like. Cry me a river. The whole fucking world is a dungeon. Great. You had mad boring shit to do before you would get to a dungeon. This one is like, yeah, the overworld is fun. The puzzles are fun. Or, oh no, they're not good enough. All right, the puzzles are alright, but there's way more than in these other games. So when you add it all together, it's way bigger dungeon. Way bigger, more puzzles. No, I don't like it because the puzzles wasn't all right, bro. They had regular puzzles, motion control puzzles. Oh no, I didn't like the motion control puzzles. Yeah, get it. You don't like change. You don't like nothing different. Oh my God. Like, sometimes fandoms, as you can see, I get sick of this shit because I'm just like, I'm a diehard fan. And I'm not one who's just sitting there like, oh yeah, like defending the series just blindly. Like, I'm not going to defend the series blindly, but I will defend to not being blinded by the audience and to say, yo, who's ever developing the game over there, fuck what the audience wants. Because whatever you think the audience wants, it don't matter. Look at the sales of the game. No, make a game that goes beyond what the audience wants. You named the game Beyond. I am believing in that word. Bro, we went from Metroid Prime to Metroid Prime's Echoes or Dark Echoes, or wherever you was in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Corruption. And now we got Beyond. And I feel Beyond, yeah, while it'll have something to do with the game, oh, you're going beyond time, beyond this galaxy, this, the goddamn whatever. I feel like Beyond is literally a kick to the nuts to every single person who's like, yeah, I just want Super Metroid again. No, this game is going to go beyond, whether you like it or not. And they're going to succeed and fail on the merits of what they create to try to push the IP forward. That's what I think is happening. So while I'm like, I don't know if they're going to have their Breath of the Wild moment, I truly do believe that the entire goal is to have a Breath of the Wild moment with Metroid, because why wouldn't you want to have a Breath of the Wild moment with Metroid? I mean, a Breath of the Wild moment for Metroid would be if that game sold 10 million. I'm not even asking for 20. Just 10. Just 10. And then the next entry come out, be a 2D game, and then do close to that. Or exactly that, or go above that. That'll be great, you know what I'm saying? And then we can live in a world comfortably where, Nintendo's making a new entry because it sold 10 mil. Splatoon, we on 3 already. Wow, because the first one did 10 mil on the console with 13 million. It maybe did like 8 mil. The point is it basically sold 1-to-1. And then the second one came out and did what it did, and the third one came out and did what it did. Of course there's going to be a fourth. Nobody's worried about that. But we got to worry with Metroid. And that's why I worry. If they lean too much and it be just that trailer that we saw, that first trailer, where it was basically Metroid Prime 1, you barely saw any Prime 3 outside of what was going on around you. That was completely the opening of Prime 3. You know what I'm saying? And Beyond's trailer. But gameplay-wise, it was Metroid Prime 1. With the only sign of showing, like, yeah, they might streamline this again for on-the-go play. Oh, you don't got to change visor. There's a dedicated visor button. You can just press, bam, scan right there, boom, go, keep it moving. Like, they might be streamlining things. I wouldn't be surprised they keep the stackable beams, because what they did in Prime 3, I think they know that it's the best in the series. I think anybody who goes through the series in 2024, I mean, it's kind of cheating now because you got the Super HD Prime 1. But still, if you played all of them back to back, I think you would see, like, yeah. Oh, well, you might be exhausted by the time you get to 3. But if you play them, I think you would see, like, oh, yeah, that is a better design game. That is a cooler game. The fact that your ship is a character and lifting areas that you was like, I can't get through there. There's nothing there. And then, blow that. Oh, I could get through there. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. The other characters you fought, them having different abilities, different fight, so many different boss fights, from falling down with Ridley to other Ridley fights to the different Hunters fight, them switching up, you know, goddamn ice skating through the air around you. Like, it was mad fun, and they could change up the gameplay because they had new gameplay controls, so there was a lot more verticality versus 1 and 2. I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm just defending Prime 3. The point is, we need an evolution of Prime 3, and it needs to evolve a lot, not only in gameplay but in design, in order to reach, I feel, its peak and its potential is basically what I'm trying to say. I love Metroid, and I know a lot of y'all do too, even the ones that I slightly shitted on y'all, my bad. You know, the ones who are super nostalgic and don't want no change for Samus, y'all want Super Metroid all over again. I got some advice for y'all, bro. Play it again. Play it again and stop trying to stifle the series for us who want growth. You know what I mean? Yo, Super Metroid the best one, bro. You can't even ledge grab it now. I'm sorry. I loved it. Played it all the time. Once Zero Mission, Fusion came out, that shit was irrelevant, bro. And it's not hating that game. The moments are great. The level design is great. The music is great. But the game, yeah, that could use a remake. Full blown. And then Dread did that same thing for me with those games. Like, it's like, yeah, the way you move in Dread is just too good. Why would I want to go back? Give me more of this. Give me more and more. I want more sequels of this. Like, remake Super and the Dread. Nah. Just give me another game. We took so long to get to Metroid 5. Give me 6, 7, and 8 before you think about going back. That's just me. But anyway, Breath of the Wild moment. It's going to be hard to achieve, but I believe if there's any game that they're going to achieve it with, I think it will be the one titled Beyond. Because like Zelda went beyond the Zelda series, while also still looking back, I think that's what you'll get here. So yeah, there'll be your Super Metroid callbacks, but I think there'll be your Prime 2, 3, 1, all games, Dread, Federation Force, callback to everything. There might even be a section where you play pinball, like legit pinball, like Metroid Pinball, in Dread. I mean, my bad, in Prime 4, or the sequel to Dread. Listen, it's going to happen, and you're going to be like, yo, that's crazy, the pinball section. I'm like, yeah, they're going to marry all the Prime games together in this thing and try to give you even more, go beyond. That's what I truly believe. We're going to have to wait and see, but I'm telling you, that next trailer is going to be the trailer where we're going to be going, ooh, oh, shit, they did it. We don't even know what to say, because they just doing crazy shit that you never saw Samus do. Wouldn't be surprised. I'm hoping for that, because I've waited almost 20 years for Metroid Prime 4. I did not wait almost 20 years to get Metroid Prime 1 again. Or even Metroid Prime 3 again. Oh, I'm just happy to be here, you know, with a new Prime game. I'm not. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. For that, I'd rather you don't even make one. If you're not going to move the series forward, if you're not going to grow the series forward, then what is even the point? And here, y'all might disagree with me there, right? But here's the truth. That's Nintendo's whole MO. It's why you don't got a Star Fox. It's why you don't got an F-Zero. It's because, we need that idea. It can't just be the same thing. It gotta be a reason why to make it again, especially with those games that don't hit like that. You know what I'm saying? So understand, you should want it to go my way. You know what I'm saying? Because my way leads to more. Versus, oh yeah, we're gonna panda and then the fly. We're like, yeah, it's the same thing. Why would you do the same thing if it didn't work the last 3 times? And I know it worked for us, the fans. We love it. But there's something more. It's missing something. You can't deny it. The shit is too good. It's just so mad crazy. When I see shit like Elden Ring come out, I'm like, you're not Metroid Prime. And that's no disrespect to you. And that's no disrespect to anybody who love it. Like, you're not Metroid Prime. But yet, look at the sales you're getting. Why? Play Metroid Prime on hard as hard to and Metroid Prime. Like, listen, I'm just a fanboy of Metroid Prime. And I feel like you either in the realm of Metroid Prime or you beneath it. But there is no above it. Breath of the Wild isn't above it. Nothing is. You know what I'm saying to me? Like, Metroid Prime is peak video game. And that wasn't enough. So clearly it needs some extra sauce. They need to go beyond and add that sauce in order for us to get that Breath of the Wild moment. Because I think it's more of the same. It's not going to work. They just came out with Prime. It didn't light the world on fire, right? Because you don't see Nintendo screaming it from rooftops. Yo, we sold 5 million, 6 million, record breaking, nothing like that. They barely screamed Dread sales, and that was supposedly now the best-selling entry. It's weird. But the point is, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments. You might disagree, it's all good. Let's not throw shade at you for being the type of guy who only wants goddamn Super Metroid and Prime 1 all over and over and over again. You could throw shade at me for liking the supposedly worst Prime entry. You know what I'm saying? The most casual one, the easiest one. It told you where to go. Like, listen, I was more lost when I was playing Prime 3 than I was ever lost playing Prime 1, or even 2 for that matter. But that's just me. You know what I mean? A lot more variety, a lot more worlds, a lot more backtracking, a lot more Metroid goodness. So yeah, I would like to hear what y'all think. You know, light up the comments, let me know. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the NX Podcast. Thanks to everybody who tuned in and everybody who recently subscribed. I appreciate it. Everybody who's liking the videos, I appreciate it so much. All my Patreon, shout out to y'all. And listen, Metroid fans, man, I love y'all, all of us, man. We all fans at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing a little shade where shade need to be thrown because, God damn it, evolution is nice. But anyway, yeah, that's going to do it, man. Respect to all my Metroid fans. I'll see y'all in the next video, next podcast. Peace.